Hi there, Gemini. Hope you guys are having a great January. Whoop! That one popped right out. Okay. I'm sensing that there's a lot that you want to say, and that there's a lot that you understand is not being said. And there's an urge to release maybe thoughts, words, communication, but something is being held back and it could be frustrating you. That one popped right out, so let's take a look. All right. The 10 of Swords, 2 Swords cards, okay? Being eaten alive by the thoughts, perhaps, that aren't being said, okay? Just this culmination of the mental sort of anguish, okay? Perhaps for some of you there, okay? It's like you've reached the limit with something that has to do with your thoughts or even your analysis, kind of like the analysis paralysis. Okay. So we're gonna be doing the Celtic Cross. Okay, same spread as last month and the last reading. So you're gonna have your deep past here, recent past, current state, advice position, near future, the hopes and or fears card right here, followed by your final outcome. We're then gonna have 3 crowning energy cards. The first being the energy that you stepped into, that you harnessed, that you utilized, which helped lead you to your current state, followed by the environmental energies that lay at your feet as you move forward through the month, followed by the sort of most likely potential outcome, or how I like to see it as sort of the energetic pathway that you're moving into. Okay, so without further ado, let us so lots of thoughts, lots of contemplation, lots of thinking, lots of considering, going back and forth, zigzagging, I'm imagining sort of the person who's pacing back and forth in the room, okay? Here we go. Deep past, recent past, current state, advice, near future. 3 signs already got that card. Hopes and or fears, final outcome. Wow, interesting. Leo got the same card in the same position. Okay. Environmental energies card. And the sort of energetic pathway that you're moving into, okay? And at the bottom of the deck, you have Temperance in reverse, okay? I think you guys did get Temperance before in another reading. Okay. Whether it was December's reading or the early part of January, I believe it might have been January. So either way, Temperance was a theme for you guys. This element of waiting, having faith, right? Maintaining a balanced approach. And beneath Temperance, you have the High Priestess, okay? The most intuitive card in the deck. These are both major arcana. And below these broken shards of glass, which is the Eight of Cups in reverse, is the Fool. Okay? So let us take a look here at the elements at play. And let's make sure we're also recording here. Okay, great. So you have two major arcana in the sort of theme of the reading, and two major arcana making an appearance in the theme. In the spread itself, the Devil and the Empress in reverse. Okay, so perhaps, right, with Temperance, especially because it did come out in your last reading and was a theme, right, in the past, coming in reverse, it's perhaps speaking to this feeling of losing patience, feeling you're at your wit's end, right? Feeling just totally overconsumed by these thoughts, right? The frustration of waiting maybe for this release, for this spoken word, for this truth to be told, right? For even this clarity. Let me just close the door there. Okay. Now, you have a lot of water cups here. So a lot of water cards, speaking to the emphasis on emotion, okay? That this is something that is tugging at your sort of heartstrings as well, okay? And in addition with this Eight of Cups, right? Right overlaying this Fool, the start of a new journey, right? The innocence, the expectation, but the expectation without expectation, right? Just entering into a new phase in existence without having any judgments, without just sort of being open to the experience, right? So perhaps you want this revival, this renewal of cycle in terms of your emotions that are somewhat, it seems, tied to this strenuous mind game. That's what I'm getting, mind game, okay? Especially with the Seven of Swords, that's definitely mind game energy. This fox has all of these swords lying on top of him, aiming in one direction, but he's lying over this one sword that's facing another, okay? And there's a sense of incomplete truth, okay? A lack of straightforwardness. So there could be sort of a frustration, right, with that. Something that's making you just overthink and running you in circles. And emotionally, right, you feel like you're being worn out and you want this situation to sort of transform into a new beginning of some sort, okay? And beneath Temperance, you have the High Priestess also in reverse, okay? So what this is saying to me is perhaps you're not following your intuition, right? You're losing your patience because you're not following your intuition in regards to it, because you're perhaps too much in the mind, too much in the actual logical analysis of it, okay? No, but perhaps. So let's take a look at the other elements at play here. We have just one Wands card. Just one Wands card, okay. Indicative of fire energy, of initiative, creativity, action, movement forward, okay. We then have 3 Cups cards here, okay. Again, water, emotions, compassion, sensitivity, also creativity. You then have 3 Pentacle cards, okay. 3 Pentacle cards. And the Devil also speaks to the same element of materialism, right? That we see in the element in the element of earth in the Pentacles cards suit. So there could be sort of a codependence in terms of your groundedness as it's based on something that's tied with your emotions here. Okay, but let's take a closer look. You have another Swords card in the very center in your environment position. Okay. Speaking, I believe, again to this sword situation that we mentioned. And then you have the Empress. Okay, Major Arcana. In reverse. Okay. So let us move forward here. Daughter of Wands. Okay, very fiery, creative, confident energy. Okay. This snake, right, is wielding this wand, okay, in a figure 8 fashion. There's a sense of being in command and control of what you create, your passions, your drive, right? And we see this wand has flowers on it, in a way speaking to the earth element, the pentacle element, speaking to a sense of groundedness. So in your creativity, in your motivations, and in your actions and your drive forward, there could have been, right, this sense of groundedness, feeling grounded in the way that you wield and portray yourself, and wield the creative passion, right, that you behold. So, or at that time that you felt, you really stepped into, right? So the Daughter of Wands is in your deep past, right? So perhaps that was a state that you were in where you felt very much like that sort of persona, that character, okay? Now, in your recent past, you have the Six of Cups. So we're going from fire, hot, fast energy, very fast moving, to this feeling that a heavier energy, right? Given these Swords cards, especially with the 10, okay? That's just being staked in place, right? Water, cups, this tree, firmly rooted in the ground, okay? There is this sense of heaviness, emotions that have overgrown, emotions that are so passionate, right? This is so colorful. In a way, it's like a dependency on emotions even, right? Your firmness and your groundedness is dependent on these emotions that have been left and allowed to grow their roots firmly, okay? So in a way, right, there's been a transformation from, this is in a way like singlehood. That's how I see this card, singlehood. Really being fiery and, sorry about that, guys, the phone died. Okay, so, right, there is a fiery, right, sort of free spirit sort of nature to this card. This is a grounded, housed energy, okay? One that's complicated, involved, emotionally involved, right? Cups everywhere. Cups are the basis of what's firmly rooting you, okay? So it seems that you are in a sort of emotionally consuming situation. Okay, now we find the same abundance of water energy here in your current state. Okay, and now we're at the 9. So there's a lot of culminating energy in terms of your mental thoughts, right? Your analysis of the situation around you or that you're in, and also the way in which it emotionally speaks to you, it emotionally fulfills you. Okay, so I'm sensing that this situation has you really consumed in many different ways. Okay, now moving forward to the Ace of Pentacles, this is this is your sort of advice card, right? If we're looking at it in terms of help or hinder, I'm seeing this as overload of water energy. Overload of water energy, just really, I mean, especially when you compare it to what you were before that, right? You're going into this very dense, heavy space, okay? And perhaps, right, there is a beckoning to reconsider, to start anew with your perception of what grounds you, okay? A renewed perspective towards what makes you feel stable, okay? This is just the base of the tree trunk, the ace. It's the very first, right, of the earth energy. And I see it as speaking to this card here with this tree. Okay. So something that you have been allowing to kind of emotionally take a hold of you, you're now being urged to reconsider in terms of the purity of it, even the purity of its truth in truly grounding you, right? Okay, we'll get back to this energy, but I mean, when you just also look at these two cards, right? This is complicated. There are conditions, right, to this stability. Emotions are very much involved in the growing of this tree. The Ace of Pentacles is just like the planting of the seed, right? It's the very beginning stage of growth. And so it's much less complicated and tied in with many other things, right, than, let's say, this Six of Cups and this Ten of Swords. Okay, there's a feeling of singularity also to this card. Okay, this is involved perhaps with other people, other people's emotions, right? There are two sets, almost like two people, okay, both contributing to this tree, both entangled, right? These roots are entangled. It can even be confusing, right? But ultimately, there is a sense of dependence in this card, right? Three of Cups, Three of Cups. So, but this is sort of like saying rebuild your tree in a way. Speaking to the singularity as well of the Daughter of Wands card. Okay. So a form of simplification where we're finding extreme complexity and intermingling, right? We are now being urged to follow a suit of more simplicity. Okay, getting to the root of things as well. Now, in your near future, you have this Devil card, okay? And it's facing the Daughter of Pentacles, which is in your hopes and or fears position. And let me tune in here and make sure that we are still recording. Great. So this can be this can be a person who comes in to your near future, somebody who maybe challenges, okay, this can be a character who challenges your sense of independence. It can be tied perhaps to this codependent situation, or even the Seven of Swords, right? This sort of sly fox or creature that we have who's not entirely telling the truth. The Devil is depicted generally as one who's greedy, right? Who just really wants to accumulate and achieve what he or she wants. Okay, so going after their desires very, very quickly and with their motivations intact. And there is, again, a sense of codependency with the Devil card, okay? So perhaps this could be someone coming in that will be challenging this new beginning, right? This sense of trying to renew your sense of groundedness and your independent groundedness. The Devil is like turning away from the Ace of Pentacles, right? And the color tone is quite similar. So, but there is this sort of standoff, right, between these two characters. Okay, so you have this Daughter of Pentacles in your hopes and or your fears. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is the Daughter of Pentacles can be sort of your stance in this, right? The desire to start anew and in a more matured way in attaining your personal sense of groundedness, okay? But this guy's getting in the way, okay? This character is what separates the Ace of Pentacles, this new beginning, and the Daughter of Pentacles. This is temptation. This is even, how do you say this? Like, just brute determination, right? To get his way or get her way. This is a mountain goat, right? The mountain goat climbs and climbs and climbs until he gets to the top of the mountain. And they're known, I believe, to be able to climb just the most difficult, challenging succession of rocky ledges, right? Almost exactly vertical. So there's a persistence with this card, okay? And one that perhaps doesn't want to support this new beginning, consciously or not consciously, right? But regardless, right, you're in a way being faced with this challenge, okay, and this distraction. And so perhaps you want to stand tall in the sights of your hopes of this new beginning and your independence, right? This is a very independent card as well. But perhaps you feel weak in the face of this temptation. Okay, it is the Daughter of Pentacles. There's a youthfulness to this card. Okay, so perhaps you feel challenged. Perhaps you feel this sort of block of some sort, okay, of tempting energy, okay? In your near future, in your final outcome, you have the Empress in reverse. Before we get to that card, let's switch up to the crowning energy. And let me make sure we're still recording here. Great. So at the very center here, you have the 8 of Swords. Okay, so you have a 7, and you have an 8, and you have a 10. But before we get there, let's actually move over to the 5 of Pentacles up top, which was the energy that you harnessed that helped lead you to your current state of overwhelming emotional involvement in whatever this situation is, okay? I'm also seeing this as intuition, right, signified by the moon, being blocked and overpowered by emotions. Okay. I mean, this is like a huge swing influx of emotions, really. I mean, right? Because you're going from light, fiery energy to just sudden 7 of Cups, 9 of Cups, quick progression of emotion as well. Okay, so there's momentum with this sort of transformation that took place, it seems, in the past and now into your current future. So in leading you to this overwhelming state of emotions, even mood emotions, volatile ups and downs, is this Five of Pentacles energy. And so perhaps it is the dwelling in this lack, this feeling of lack of stability in some way. And it can be pertaining to a relationship or love, right? Maybe not feeling grounded, not feeling like there is some sort of stability, not feeling like feeling like you want to feel grounded, right? And so you want this flower, this rose, to be standing upright, right? You want to feel secure. And so here comes water. Water comes to water the plants, to make them grow. And there's this abundance, this flow, this just rush, right? The floodgate of emotion to perhaps compensate for this feeling of lack of groundedness or stability in some way. Okay, so a compensation even. Now, in your environment position, you have this Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords, as we see it here, it's in reverse. And again, it can be referencing these two cards that popped out, the Swords cards. It's in reverse. Upright, it's the depiction of several things. One is the element of time, okay? Time for this butterfly, right? That's in this cocoon to hatch. It needs time to hatch and to fly, right? To no longer be at the mercy of these thoughts, okay? Because I'm seeing this as thoughts. Perhaps you feel vulnerable, right? You feel vulnerable perhaps in light of these thoughts. And there is also a sense of vulnerability here as well, especially when looking over at the Devil, right? There is a sense of vulnerability, okay? Now you have this card in reverse. And again, there's a theme as well of flying, of lightness, of freedom, contrasted. This is the real juxtaposition of being staked in and held into a situation, right? And flight, movement, freedom, okay? Similarly as to what we saw here, right? The contrast between fire, wands, fast, light energy, dynamic, and heavy water emotions, okay? So the same sort of contrast here. So perhaps your environment is pinning you, is what is pinning you and locking you, an otherwise free-flying butterfly, right? These thoughts are what are encaging you and holding you back from taking flight. There's a sense of feeling helpless even, right? At the mercy of this environmental energy, if it is as we're reading it in this way, okay? So, however, again, it is in reverse. So there is a sense of resilience, right? Even though, let's say, you're feeling attacked, right? Even by these thoughts, maybe not even consciously, right? Or directly attacked. Even in spite of that, you're still standing up, right? You're not hanging down. You're standing up in a way, is what it seems like. Okay? These swords are coming down, but you're standing up. So there's a sort of confrontation and a battle between these two energies that's taking place in a way where you're standing, right? Much alike the confrontation between these two cards. You're looking at it and you're taking it head on. Okay? It's like the escalation of this energy, okay? So being consumed by whatever this situation is mentally, right? Being consumed by these thoughts. And another thing is perhaps even not awakening yet to your ability to fly and flee and be free from whatever this situation is that has held you down and kept you entranced almost, right? There's a certain entrancement that's taking place between the gaze of these two cards, right? So perhaps this is time still awaits, right? The moment when you will wake up from the cocoon and realize that you're a butterfly and fly, right? Now, and be free. Okay? So the Father of Cups is in your energetic pathway that you're moving into. Okay? And it's in reverse. Okay? So this is the mastery of your emotions. This is the most mature expression of the water energy. Okay? So the Father of Cups, upright, also speaks to emotional satisfaction that is not necessarily dependent on others, right? This Father of Cups, he's just swimming along, right? You don't see the sort of counterpart. He does have a wife, right? There is a Mother of Cups, but you don't see them portrayed together in this particular card. So this card speaks of, yes, emotional satisfaction, fulfillment, maturity, right? Feeling within yourself, within your own, but also in an independent way, being self-sufficient emotionally, okay? So we find that this is in reverse, okay? So perhaps, right, you feel that this is a difficult step, right? A difficult manifestation of your water energy, right? Because these two cards are of a lower, almost more petty nature than the Father of Cups. This is really becoming the master of your emotions, right? So it is showing up in your spread, right? In reverse, almost pending, right? Pending, waiting for this butterfly to hatch and fly free. And from there, right, this dove can swim on. Okay? So, again, there's this element of flight. Okay? An element of flight. Butterfly, bird, right? But one that is, again, stable, calm waters, not emotionally sticky, convoluted, complicated, indirect, codependent, even possibly mounting, volatile, moody emotions, right? So I sense that you want to step into this more independent, right? Independent sort of phase and next step. But it's going to take time, and it will, the base of it is in your stance in regards to whatever is challenging your commitment to this new beginning, right? So, and yes, we spoke of the need, right, to listen to your intuition as well. Okay, so thank you so much, Gemini, for tuning in. I hope this reading was helpful for you guys. Feel free to leave your comments below. Always curious to know how the reading resonates. So please do connect, and I will be back most likely within the next week with your February reading. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys then. All right, bye, Gem. See ya.